the guy he is. So I say all this to say that entrepreneurship is not a nice ride, right? It's a difficult journey. I've had the calls from debt collectors, right? From things bouncing, from being embarrassed when your card declines, or being with a client, at a lunch and your card declining. Even worse, that you're trying to win some business and then, the waiter's telling you and you're like, no, I'll deal with it later. Let me just finish this meeting very quickly, right? And that's the reality of running a business. So if you think that this is just about making money, if you think that this is just about an easy path, I implore you, I beg you to stay at your jobs. Okay? Because on the 25th of every month, a lot of surety you will get paid. All right? So if you're in this for making money, stop. It's not the profession for you. It's not the goal. That maybe might eventually come. There's a stat that says 90% of first businesses fail. All right? I'm sure you've heard that. All right? So most people, there's a great probability that whatever business idea you have right now is going to fail. 90%. I don't care who you are, I don't care how smart you are, how clever you are, where you've been, where you haven't been, who your parents are, it's likely going to fail. And that's okay. But the second business, 80% of second businesses succeed. 80%. So you got a guaranteed failure rate the first time, but you've got a guaranteed success rate the second time, right? 80% are pretty good odds. I'll take those any day. But how many people actually start a second business? Do you know? 20%. Right? So you had guaranteed success the second time around, but most people are not built to get back up again. Okay, so I don't say this to be elitist. I don't say this to be the most clever person or say something special about me. But being an entrepreneur is typically quite irrational. It doesn't make any sense. It certainly doesn't make financial sense. And try explaining it to your parents, right? That you went to school maybe, you got a degree, and then you're going to just try something, right? Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. And they still, to this day, do not understand why I'm an entrepreneur. Let that sink in for a moment. Right? The depth of African parenting. Right? They both have been building businesses their entire lives, but they're like, hey son, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're so smart, there's so many other things that you could be doing. To speak about that, my boss from my previous job, when I quit and said I was going to start my own business, someone I was very close with, she told me never to call her boss. We were partners. Whenever we went to meetings, whenever we traveled, we were peers. She treated me the same way. It was a great relationship. But when I decided to quit, she looked at me and she said, I thought you were so smart. Right? She was incredibly disappointed. And that's when I knew I made the right decision. So, this is not for everyone, this journey, this path. But I think, for me to get up on stage like this and talk about my journey, I do it not to scare you away, but I do it to be honest, because I think a lot of people don't tell the complete truth about what it means to be an entrepreneur. We paint a very rosy picture about what it's like, that you're going to make lots of money, that you're going to be able to have 4-hour lunches at Tasha's, and life is nice, right? And you'll get lots of followers on your Instagram, and people will see all the good moments, but that's not always the truth, right? I wake up every day at about 4:30, right? In the dark, I beat the sun, I get to the office early, and most days I leave the office at 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night. That's not because I enjoy it, and I'm going to tell you that, like, no, you must beat the sun every day, you mustn't sleep. Trust me, whenever anyone tells you, it's not nice waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Like, I would love 8 hours to sleep. But unfortunately, I've got a business to build, and I just don't have enough time. So I have to take 6 a.m. meetings in order to fit in my day. So it's not an easy journey. And it takes a long time to get where we are. I've been in business 10 years. But probably only 3 years ago did it actually start coming together, where we started hiring more than we should have, right? And expanding, when clients started closing. So for the first 7, 8 years, it made no rational sense. Our books didn't look good. We were behind with SARS. We owed clients. We lost business partners. It was really messy. It didn't make any sense. Only after a certain amount of time did it finally start coming together. So for you to succeed as entrepreneurs, there's kind of 3 things that I always say. The first thing that you have to have is grit. I don't know how many of you have heard that word before. I think, Jackie, you certainly alluded to it in your story, because you're certainly a gritty individual, right? Grit is literally your ability to just keep hanging in there, right? Hanging in there-ness, as my father would say, all right? Just the ability to keep going. It's like those cowboy movies when a guy gets shot, bitten by a snake, his dog dies, his girlfriend leaves him, his truck breaks down. That's grit, right? The ability to just keep going and somehow make it to the end of the movie. I'm from Texas, remember? So I'm going to tell you about cowboy stuff, right? That's grit. And grit is scientifically proven to be a key factor to success, right? More than your IQ, more than your family income, more than where you're from, more than who your parents are, who they aren't. Your measure of grittiness, your ability to just keep going, to keep hanging in there, has a better predictor quality for success than all those other things. So one thing that's going to make you an amazing entrepreneur is just your ability to keep going. That's it, right? When no one wants to buy your book, when no one believes in your story, when they want to arrest you, when they want to kill you, right? Luckily, my story is not as deep, all right? I'm just when clients don't want to pay you, when people don't want to work for you, right? When business partners want to leave, just your ability to keep going is necessary. The second thing I would say is an Italian word called dimostrazione. Are you with me? Okay, let's all do it together then. I always do this, but you gotta hold out your hands like this when you're standing. Hey, no, come on. You all gotta hold out your hands like this, right? Dimostrazione.
Dimostrazione.
Dione. Right? You gotta add that extra part. That's how Italians speak. Mamma mia, pizza. Yeah, that's what they do, right? Spend some time there. That word was coined by Leonardo da Vinci. Right? One of the greatest minds society has ever had in history, right? He was a polymath, which means he knew everything about everything. He was a geologist, a scientist, a painter, a sculptor, a mathematician, an engineer, a creator of note, right? And the key to his success as such an successful individual was that word, dimostrazione, which means demonstration, right? And the direct translation is failure through demonstration, failure through experimentation. So your key to success is actually going to be failure, right? The way you grow your businesses, the way you grow yourselves as individuals, it's going to be necessary for you to fail. Failure is a good thing. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's a great thing because it molds you. It makes you bigger. It makes you better. I would not be where I am right now, right? Running a business, speaking on multiple stages several times a week, if it wasn't for failure, if it wasn't for the times where I came up on stage and completely bombed out, right? And where I lost all my business partners' money, when I lost clients' money. All those times molded me into the kind of the pretty good entrepreneur I am today. But that took time, and it took failure, and it took experimentation. So, the second kind of key to success for me is learning how to fail. You have to fail fast. You have to fail quickly. Failure is only failure if you stay down. If you never try again, then you're a failure. Right? If you never learn anything from the last bad thing that happened to you, then you're a failure for sure. But if you take that and you use it, then you're a successful person because you're learning all the time. And you're learning through rapid experimentation like Da Vinci did. Are you guys still with me?
Yes.
All right. I'm trying to remember what the third thing I wanted to tell you guys. I had a whole speech prepared, but when I got here, something spoke to me. I don't know, Rian spoke to me, and I said I was going to switch things up a little bit and telling you about my story. I got it. So the last thing is we have to trust the process. Okay. Right now there's so much pressure. I'm actually glad that I didn't have Instagram when I was some of your ages. That when I first started a business 10 years ago, because I don't know how I would have been able to do it, right? If you're my age, you'll know there was a time in Joburg, a couple of years ago, maybe 8-9 years ago, where every black entrepreneur went out and bought a silver C-Class. I don't know if Mercedes had a sale, but everyone you know on Instagram now, they had that silver C-Class at one particular moment, especially in Joburg. Everybody had that car. And here I was driving this old white Mazda 626, right? Feeling very left out of what was happening at the moment. Because if you remember when I came here, no one views me as South African, right? I'm not actually a black man in the context of BEE purposes, strangely enough, right? I'm a foreigner, and this accent doesn't help my case, right? So I didn't have the networks that some of you had. Or we went to school together, we grew up in the same place in the hood, right? I came in here like a complete outsider, and even more so because I sound and act like an American, definitely an outsider that people don't want in. So I had to start from scratch. And then there was all this competition of people that were doing better than I was. So right now there's so much noise. People are only posting their best moments online. I'm guilty of it, right? If you look at my Instagram page, my wife was looking at it the other day, she's like, yo, you're living, baby. That's how she's sitting right next to me. Right? That's the reality, is like we only post the great moments, the nice to haves, right? We're capturing the content when we're on stage, not when, like, this week I'm in an HR hearing dealing with firing employees. Like, I didn't post that. That's not a nice story. You guys don't want to see what that looks like, right? But, be on stage here in Santon? Definitely. I'm 10 years into this particular business. Like I said, it's only coming together now, right? Year 1 to 7, year 1 to 8, it made no sense to anyone that was around me. Not to my family, not to a lot of friends. You talk about being lonely. Business is very lonely. Entrepreneurship is very lonely. There's friends that I spent every waking moment with when I first started. Every day from 4 o'clock to 6 p.m. we're at the basketball courts every single day. Right? Every Friday we're out to the club. Every Saturday, every Sunday we were grinding. We were together all the time. Now it's been months and years since I've seen those people. Because they don't understand the journey. They don't understand when I say I'm still working late. They don't understand when I say I'm traveling. They don't understand that path. They're like, well, where's this guy? And now they've almost been tired of reaching out. And we're just WhatsApp friends or Facebook friends now. And these are people that I could even consider blood in terms of closeness. Right? So the journey is very lonely and painful, even when you have a business partner, even when you have a partner at home, a spouse. Because you can't go home and say, I know, we lost clients today, all right? Because then they're like, oh, what about groceries? What about school fees, right? There's pressure there. You can't go home and be completely honest about everything that you're struggling with. There's very few people that can relate to your journey. You're not going to get support. Like I said, my own parents don't understand what I do, and they do the exact same thing. So I think in trusting the process, you have to know that it's not going to happen immediately, right? Malcolm Gladwell has this rule, the 10,000 hour rule, and it's been debunked, and people say it's not true, that if you put in 10,000 hours, then you'll become a master. But my, appeal is that if you put in 10,000 hours of anything, you might not necessarily become a master, but you're going to become pretty damn good at it, right? So, same thing in business. It's going to take you time. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen just because you came to this session that you're going to feel good, and then on Monday you're like, guys, I'm ready, I got the strategy, I heard that one gem from Jackie or Mushambi. It's not going to be the thing, unfortunately. We're here to lift you up, not to motivate or encourage, because I don't necessarily believe in that, because it's temporary, but hopefully to teach you something that will change your behavior. So, know that it's going to take some time. Now, 10 years in, as a business, we don't pitch, we don't tender, right? We don't cold call any clients. They call us. I don't know the last time I had to say, hey, can we do something for you, right? It's a nice place to be in, but I'll tell you how we're there, right? It's off of relationships. It's off of trust. It's off of the brand growth, right? So that took time. It took 10 years, longer. And we're still growing. Things are not completely easy, right? But the clients we used to knock on doors at, the clients that I used to beg to let me in the door, the accelerator programs and incubators that I asked, now they call us and say, hey, can you do some work for us? Hey, can you mentor our people? Hey, can you be on our board? So it takes time, and that thing mastery only comes with time and experience. So where you are right now, it's going to be that way for a little while. If I got everything that I am today back then, I would have lost it all. Right? I needed that humbling. I needed to eat a slice of bread and beans a day and have the loaf taken away. Right? That was necessary for me and my ego. Right? But now, it's all coming together at the perfect time. So I think trust the process, trust the journey that this is going to take you on, and develop that grit. I don't know how much more time I have, but I think I'm good. Thanks, guys.